All right, my friends, welcome back. This is going to be part 41 of my presentation on the flood and Noah's Ark. And in this one here, we're going to talk about diamonds and carbon-14. Yes, I said that. Diamonds and carbon-14. And we're also going to be looking at a very interesting company that I think some of you ladies might find extremely interesting. And so, but if you'll notice on the screen here, this is one of the slides that we had on the last video, and I'm going to use it to set us up, to catapult us into what we're going to talk about today. And I am going to try to finish this up today. I'm just going to push through it, and we'll just see what happens. But at any rate, it says between 1984 and 1998 alone, the scientific literature reported carbon-14 in 70 samples that came from fossils, coal, oil, natural gas, and marble, representing the fossil-bearing portion of the geologic record, supposedly spanning more than 500 million years, all contained radiocarbon. Furthermore, analysis of fossilized wood and coral samples, supposedly spanning 32 to 350 million years in age, yielded ages between 20,000 and 50,000 years using carbon-14 dating. Diamonds supposedly 1.3 billion, that's with a B, 1.3 billion years old, similarly yielded carbon-14 ages of only 55,000 years. Almost said square miles. So I tell you what, any of you guys that's done any type of speaking and stuff like that, you've known just how much you can trip up on your words. But anyway, that was 55,000 years. Going on, a remarkable discovery was made by the rate scientists. That's that rate research group. Rate scientists. And I did say scientist, y'all, for those that say that there's no such thing as a Christian Scientist. They found carbon-14 is also present in diamonds, a crystalline form of carbon. Diamonds are thought to have formed deep inside the earth where pressures and temperatures are quite extreme. Diamonds, however, are different in that they are not altered remains of organic material. They never were alive. They don't breathe air or eat plants. Furthermore, the carbon atoms in diamonds are so tightly packed, no outside contamination is possible. Gathering diamonds from around the world, Rate found low levels of C14, carbon-14, present in each of them, enough to date the diamonds at just a few tens of thousands of years old. They are not yet old enough to be C14 dead. So they would be below what we commonly see as 65 to 70,000 years. Of course, again, I have seen it go up to 100,000 years before. Rare, but I have seen folks name that. And so, but as the numbers I just got through going over, they're under 60,000. Now, notice the highlighted area. Diamonds supposedly 1.3 billion years old, similarly yielded carbon-14 ages of only 55,000 years. Now, I want you to understand this. 1.3 billion years old. Are diamonds really 1.3 billion years old, guys? Now, I went to a family reunion on my mom's side of the family. My mom is deceased, and we went out there also to bury her ashes. And that was, I want to say, at near the end of May of 2024 when we went out there. But this was in Tennessee. Now, Sandra and I had a little outing. We took some time and went out just ourselves. And we went and got ourselves something to eat. And when we were pulling into a parking lot, I said, "Would you check it out?" And it was some jewelry store, and they was advertising lab diamond earrings. Now, you heard that right. Laboratory diamond earrings. Guys, diamonds can be made. They can be made. And so now I've known about this for many years now. And so, but it's kind of wild when you see it on a board like that. But you can actually buy man-made diamonds. And so we're going to talk about that. I'm going to try to rabbit trail just a little bit. We're going to talk about that. It's from the Life Gem Company. Now, I did not look to see if they're still in existence. I'm sure they probably are. If you want to look them up, just go to www.lifegem.com. And they make diamonds. They can make diamonds. And we're going to talk about that. The process for creating high quality diamonds has been present for many years. General Electric first pioneered this technology in the mid 1950s. Get that, guys. General Electric in the mid 1950s. Diamonds are created by subjecting carbon, the primary element of all diamonds, to conditions that recreate the forces of nature. The Life Gem creation process is identical to this, only we use an exact carbon source, cremated remains, get that, to create a beautiful and meaningful diamond tribute for you and your family. Get that, guys. And so, going on. Carbon is extracted from cremated remains and is converted to graphite. By baking the carbon at temperatures up to 3,000 Celsius, which is 5,532 degrees Fahrenheit, which is pretty warm. So, any rate, it says, to create your life gem, we now place this graphite in one of our unique diamond presses, which replicates the awesome forces of nature, heat and pressure. Other than being created in our lab, Life Gem diamonds are molecularly identical to naturally occurring diamonds. They possess exactly the same traits, hardness, brilliance, fire, and luster. But it's basically $1,800. I guess it goes from $1,800 to $20,000. And so, depending on, I guess, the size that you're wanting. But it says here, now this is Gemesis. Gemesis grown diamonds. And you know, guys, I'm not sure if they're connected with the Life Gem, but you might want to look up, remember that word Gemesis. It's kind of funny how they say Gemesis. I guess it's a play on Genesis, but they use gem instead. But it says Gemesis grown diamonds are single crystals of pure carbon that share the same properties as mined diamonds. It's the exact same thing, guys. The exact same thing is what they're saying. Yeah, this looks like it's a different company. Gemesis okay, going back. Type 2A diamonds, Type 2A is the most purest form of diamond in the world. These diamonds are virtually devoid of all nitrogen, the chief impurity found in diamonds. Only 2% of the world's mined diamonds are Type 2A diamonds compared to 100% of Gemesis grown white diamonds. And so Type 2A diamond says that there's not much carbon or a carbon footprint that can be seen in a diamond. So they even admit that there's carbon inside these diamonds. And so, but again, guys, there you go. If you really want a good quality diamond, have one made. It's the exact same thing. Molecularly, it's the same thing as what you're digging out of the earth. In only a few minutes, here we go. Researchers have now made diamonds by reacting carbon dioxide with metallic sodium in a pressurized oven at only 440 degrees Celsius, which is 824 degrees Fahrenheit. The lowest temperature reported so far for diamond synthesis is 800 atmospheres. It took just 12 hours, guys. 12 hours. Researchers have transformed graphite into ultra-hard pure diamond in only a few minutes under static high pressure and temperatures of 2,300 to 2,500 degrees Celsius. Being polycrystalline, they are even harder than single crystal diamonds. And so, guys, like I said, Diamonds are supposed to be billions of years old, and it takes ages and ages and ages to make them, and they can make them in a lab in just a few minutes? No, I don't think it takes that long to make diamonds. And so, again, just as we talked about coal and oil, it can take much sooner, much quicker, which again shows a young Earth. Okay, going on. Gems in a jiffy. Few countries know gems like Australia, the supplier of nearly 95% of the world's opals. According to the company Gem Story Australia, it takes about 5 to 6 million years to make 1 centimeter opal to mature. Dazzling opals form when water running through silica-rich sandstone layers carries silica into cracks and crannies. When the water evaporates, it leaves behind a solution of silicon dioxide and water, the ingredients for opals. Evolutionists believe this process happens very slowly over millions of years, but try telling that to Lynn Cram, an Aussie in New South Wales who grows opals in weeks. In weeks. Cram, who holds a PhD and wrote a thesis on opal research, is likely one of the world's leading authorities on opals. In fact, the opals he produces are indistinguishable from opals dug out of local mines that sell for hundreds of dollars. Opals aren't the only precious gem to be produced quickly. Recent research found that naturally forming emerald and tourmaline likely grew in just a few hours. A few hours. Now, going back to carbon-14 dating, despite the seeming precision, the method has its flaws. Historically, dated bodies or objects provide a reality check. And quite frankly, carbon dating is known for its inaccuracy. It finds application in archaeology and is thought to be useful for about 3,000 years. Most. Since the time of David. If calibrated properly, archaeologists may routinely use carbon-14 to date timbers in a tomb or grain stored in a clay pot or papyrus in a scroll, but they never trust its results unless they can be matched with dates gathered through other historical means. And so they need something to back it up. There needs to be something that you can correlate it with. And so, unlike I said before, when we talked about how if you have a date of known age, carbon-14 dating does not work. If you don't have a known age and it's unknown, it is assumed to work. And so it's backward. In actuality, it can be used just as under 3,000 years, and you need to really have something that you can be a witness to that to double check it. And so as far as I'm concerned, it's useless. It's just absolutely just useless. Now, the skeleton of the La Brea woman, and this we're talking about the La Brea tar pits here, which we will talk about later on in this presentation. The skeleton of the La Brea woman, radiocarbon dated at 9,000 plus minus 80 years before the present, while one of the broken wooden Atlati, we're going to talk about that weapon here in just a minute. It's some type of dart. 4 shafts dated at 4,450 years. Collagen from various animal bones has yielded dates of 11,000 to 36,000 years. Comparing samples of wood in the same tar pit indicated that the lower levels yielded an average of 38,000 years, while fossil wood in the upper levels yielded an average age of 13,500 years. What does this all mean? By no means are these correct absolute ages, because radiocarbon ages beyond about 1000 BC don't match historically confirmed dates, and they contradict the biblical timeline. Furthermore, radiocarbon dating of pre-flood vegetation and coal yielded ages up to 48,500 years, not 300 million years as evolutionists maintain. Their absolute dates must be wrong. And I'm going to tell you right now, anything that contradicts the Bible, you can go ahead and throw it out. And I'm not talking about the Bible, I'm talking about whatever contradicts it. Now, this is what it is. An atlatl At Laddle, this is what they were dating in the La Brea tar pit. It was found near this woman. It's a spear. It's a spear thrower. A spear thrower. It's not a bow and arrow. It's used to enhance the speed of the arrow. Oh, excuse me, as the speed of the spear, javelin or dart. And Nahut at Laddle translates to water thrower or spear thrower, indicating its primary function was a tool for launching projectile, or as a tool for launching projectiles. CO2 not causing climate catastrophe. Researchers from Warsaw, Poland have concluded that further increases in CO2 in the atmosphere will have little to no effect on Earth's temperature. In a paper in Applications in Engineering Science, Kubicki and two others reviewed data which showed that there is a diminishing effect of adding more CO2 into the atmosphere. Their analysis documents that CO2 absorbs only a certain infrared radiation frequencies, and most of those are already absorbed, like climate sensitivity decreases as the CO2 concentration increases. Contrary to the IPCC reports, they conclude that the impact of anthropogenic CO2 increases on Earth's climate is very small. This supports the idea that the Earth's climate is stable, designed to support life in the long term. Now, I will say that again. Designed. You see that? Designed to support life in the long term, as Genesis 8:22 suggests. While the earth remaineth, seed time and harvest, and cold and heat, and summer and winter, and day and night shall not cease. And so this earth will be here until the Lord comes back. And so we're going to go ahead. We're going to stop right there. I think we ended up, I'm looking at about 17, a little over 17 minutes as of right now. And, but guys, check out them diamonds. Check out them diamonds. They can make diamonds in minutes. And so evolutionists say it takes a long time, ages of time, millions and billions of years to create it. And they can make it in the lab in just a few minutes. It just depends on what you're wanting. You know, go from a few minutes up to 12 hours. And so, and some of this information is old. They may have made the process a whole lot better, but it's the exact same thing that they're digging out of the ground. And so, and they can make it in a lab. And so that ought to bring prices down. And so you might want to check out these labs next time you want a diamond. You're probably going to save you a whole lot of money and get a better quality diamond. And so, but wow, that's just amazing, you know, what they found. And the thing is, it's proven the biblical timeline that the earth is not billions of years old. Is that this stuff that was created, everything from coal to oil to diamonds, it's showing to carbon-14 that we're seeing in the coal. It's all proven a young earth. It matches the biblical timeline, but it does not match the evolutionist timeline, the geologic timeline. It don't match it at all, guys. It don't. And this is just one. This is one dating method. Now, we've talked about the magnetic field and how it's diminishing. And we talked about the C14, how they stated, the evolutionists stated, in 30,000 years, we ought to be at equilibrium. But you know what? We're not. We're not at equilibrium. And so that shows you that the earth is not 30,000 years old, which shows that it's much younger, which that would bring it closer to a 6,000 year timeline. Again, this is all science, guys. This is all science. And so, and those numbers about the 30,000 years was correlated with other scientists. William Libby didn't like it, so he ignored it. But then other scientists looked at it and said, yeah, those numbers are right, which is repeatability, observation and repeatability. It's repeated. It's observation and repeated. That's science. That's science. And so that's good science. Even though they're evolutionists, they were showing good science. They just don't like the numbers. And so, but at any rate, you guys take care. When we come back, we're going to look at another dating method. And but I hope the Lord blesses you real good and have a great day. Bye-bye.